So today, I want to share with you what's inside my $72,000 portfolio, the progress I've made towards my goal for this year, and at the end, I want to share with you guys a really cool tool that I found that I actually splurged on. I very rarely buy myself anything, so I want to show you what it is, but I think it's going to help me to keep better track of my investments, so I figured I would share it with you all. So here we are on my dividend tracking spreadsheet. Current value, $72,400, and I am anticipating $3,430 in annual dividend income right now if I were to just continue with my holdings as they are right now. But we're not keeping things as they are. We're going to continue to add to this portfolio every single week and dollar cost average into positions so that we can build an even bigger snowball that eventually, ultimately, is going to give us our time back and allow us to retire. So for those of you who've been sharing this journey with me, you know that I shared my investing strategy earlier this year, and that included getting out of debt, which for me was finally paying off my mortgage. And you know what? I did it, you guys. I did it. It's done. I have no mortgage, but this is going to allow me to put even more into my investments each month. And I may or may not have come home from the bank and skipped across my front lawn. Okay, I did it. I totally did. I skipped. I'll link to the video describing my investing strategy in the comments below if you want to take a peek and see what I'm working at this year and how I'm planning to do it. In that strategy video, I shared my goal of $3,500 in passive dividend income by the end of this year, and I'm happy to say I'm only $84 away from the goal. I presently have 33 holdings, which consist of both individual stocks and ETFs. There's 4 ETFs in this, and I do realize I've got overlap with my ETFs, but I'm hoping for some help from all of you today. After we review the list of holdings that I presently have, I would love to hear which 3 on the list you would eliminate immediately from this portfolio and why. I've got some dead weight from some early investing mistakes that I may have made, and we've got some really smart folks in this community, so I'd love to hear from you guys what you think of my current holdings. Now, if we look at the annual dividend income by each of my individual holdings, you can see that Altria Group pays me the most each year at $405, followed by JEPI at $373. Then it's Realty Income at $313, followed by Main Street at $251, and bringing up the rear in 5th place with a participation trophy is SCHD at $220. And this is definitely a position that I'm working very, very hard to build out. I buy 1 or 2 shares sometimes every Monday. So hopefully that number is going to continue to grow over time as well. So we're going to roll through super fast, and I've got 32 shares of AbbVie, 113 shares of Arbor Realty Trust, 159 shares of Algonquin, a half a share of Broadcom, which I'm really pretty proud of, you guys. I've been buying like 1/10 of a share or 100th of a share at a time. Care Trust REIT, I have 22.9 shares. Chevron, 13.3. DGRO, which is an ETF, I have 11 shares. Corning, 82.9 shares. Home Depot, 9.7 shares. 6.8 shares of HDV, another ETF. 1 share of Hershey. And I'm proud to say that 1 share is going to pay me $4.14 over the course of the year in dividends. So I can buy like a Hershey bar with almonds, because almonds make it better. Just under 60 shares of JEPI, 9.7 shares of Johnson & Johnson, and I'm kicking myself because they just raised their dividend by 5.3%. Lockheed Martin, 6.1 shares, 11 shares of Lowe's, 92.9 shares of Main Street Capital. I'm scrolling. Stay with me, guys. We've got 10 shares of Medtronic, 7.2 shares of 3M, 107 shares of Altria Group, almost 3 shares of Next Era Energy, 102 shares of Realty Income, 55 shares of Olin, 3.5 shares of Pepsi, 14 shares of Pfizer. Scrolling again. See, I have too many holdings. 15 shares of Procter & Gamble, 14 shares of Philip Morris, 12 shares of Raytheon, 83 shares of SCHD. I'm getting there, you guys. 1.7 shares of Snap-on. Love this company. I'm going to show you why in a few minutes. AT&T, 150 shares, 46 shares of TD Bank, 34 shares of T. Rowe Price. I feel like an auctioneer, and 39 shares of Verizon. What do you guys think? What 3 would you dump out of this portfolio? Now, each month, what I've been doing is I pull all the data. I download spreadsheets from each of the different portfolios that I have, and I add it all up to see what my total number of shares is across probably 5 or 6 different portfolios right now. And it's a process, and I honestly kind of geek out with the numbers, so I'm not upset about it, and I love a good spreadsheet. But I found something, you guys, that I want to share with you that you probably already know about, but new to me, and I wanted to share. Behold, the Dividend Tracker. Do you guys use this? I just am so excited about it. I had the free version for a bit, and this morning at like 6 o'clock before work, I decided, you know what? I'm doing it. I very rarely spend any money on myself, and I thought, gosh, this is going to really make my life easier, and I can geek out about this too. So it's great. So anyway, let me orient you guys. You can upload as many portfolios as you want. It really took me no time at all to link all the portfolios, and now I have all this great data in front of me. So you can see here, dividend yield overall for all the holdings that I have, as well as yield on cost, my April anticipated income, I love this, and the annual income that I can anticipate, which is really not too far off from what I'm seeing on my dividend tracking spreadsheet. From this dashboard, you can actually also see the sector diversification. So if you put your little mouse over it, you can see my miscellaneous makes up about 19% of my portfolio. So that's probably the ETFs, followed by financials at 14%. I was kind of shocked by how high that was. Consumer defensive at 13%, healthcare at 11%, real estate at 10, almost 11%, and on and on and on. You guys can kind of see. So here's the 34 holdings. And it's just really kind of so nice to look at, right? My shares are there, the current share price, any change that happened over the course of the day, as well as your profit and loss, the equity you have in each of these holdings, average price you paid, dividend yield, annual income, yield on cost, and I love a grade, you guys. I'm kind of an overachiever like that. And we can sort this information and see what my worst performers are in terms of the grades that have been assigned by the Dividend Tracker. And you can see here, Care Trust REIT, bottom of the barrel at 35, that can't be good, followed by Arbor Realty Trust at 48, and then AT&T at 49. But let's look at the good stuff. Look at Snap-on. Snap-on gets a 92. Let's look a little further at this individual holding so you can see how this breaks down within the tracker. And again, you know from my own dividend spreadsheet, I love a good gauge. A 92, that feels like a fantastic score. We can look at price return over a course of time. We can also see some general information about the company, including the market cap, the dividend yield, payout ratio, dividend growth rate. Don't you love Snap-on? 11.51%, fantastic. And 32 years of dividend increases, which I also like. Information on profitability, the valuation, financial health. There's information here on a hypothetical $10,000 investment. If you made that back on January 1st of 2020, don't I wish I had done that? Just in the last 3 years. That's kind of amazing. I wish I had bought shares of Snap-on before like 2 weeks ago. At any rate, you can also see some analyst ratings here. I love this chart. Shares outstanding going in a very positive direction as they're coming down, which is going to increase the value of the shares that you have. There's also an earnings calendar, the overall revenue growth. Love that chart as well. Net margin up and to the right, and earnings per share growth also up and to the right. I love all of these visuals. This is fantastic. So I want to share something else with you because I was trying to figure out a way to better track when I would be receiving the dividends. Because again, I'm in all these different portfolios and it's kind of hard to keep track of. But then I found the payout calendar, which if I wasn't already in love with the dividend tracker, I really am now. Look at this. It forecasts your yearly dividend income. It will also show you a dividend calendar, shows you what day of the month it is right now and when you can expect to receive your next dividends. So it looks like next Friday, I've got $101 coming in, and it will also tell you who's going to be paying you that week. And it looks like it'll be Altria Group and TD Bank. If we scroll down a little bit further, we can see the current month we're in and then 5 months ahead, so we can anticipate what our dividend income is going to be. The other feature that I like is that I can download the data and I can also just print it. And there's one more thing I want to share about the individual stocks as you review them. Again, you can get information about the individual company. You can also look at the dividends tab because we love dividends, you guys. And on this tab was another exciting feature where we could see the free cash flow. I love this. And the other thing that I really love is the historical dividends are listed here as well. And each time they raise their dividend, they show the percentage of change on the right-hand side. Okay, so we're back to the holdings, and I'm going to slowly scroll through so you guys can take a quick gander because I'm relying on you. Which 3 of these holdings you all think I should get rid of and why? And follow-up question of the current holdings that I have, which would you buy more of? And while you're thinking about all that, go and take a peek at this video next. That's a really weird sentence. So after we review 92 point... Why are they barking? They're always barking. 14 shares of Pfizer. If I wanted to have something popped on my bulletin board, I can check it off as it comes. Because who doesn't love a good check sheet? I'm rambling, you guys. I'm so sorry, but I'm really excited about this.